schools, who tried to settle old schools. We said, that's not what we're here for. Now, with the MPFL briefly in Tiaple, they killed some Mandingos, and I executed them. Immediately, I broke away. So that why I was able to tell you, I freed a lot of Mandingos. That was not my issue to kill them. I wrote a letter with my bloody hand to Hofo Bundy across the Shannon Bridge, and they were given try to go. We were not here to kill people.
You continue to make mention of Fairplay and Laura Bote, and you said that they were tried by tribunals. What was the decision of the tribunal?
Guilty, with evidence. The motor roller was on channel with Doe and communicating, and Doe was talking to him when I interrupted. You see, in revolution, if the revolutionaries, if any of them betray, there are punitive measures set by that institution, agreeable by all. Now, anyone who comes in, you know very well, even the military, if you are the information giver to the opposing side, you are as good as the enemy you are fighting. Because I had thought that Fairplay would be like Peter Naga, would be like Kula, would be like Ford, would be like many others that took refuge on my base. Charles Green, James Green, all these people, Nathaniel Petrie. There were so many. If I open the boat, there are so many there. You have the senior people. Now, if we gave you this preference, don't forget that we were trained to kill. If we were not trained to kill, we can't fight war, because when you fight war, you kill. And when we gave you a lay each, 1 mark, don't take 2 marks. That's what happened. You would have thought better. The people brought their revolution. Even if you were taking sourdough, why don't you stay in the mansion? We gave you safe haven in Hotel Africa. Then you still decide to do communication secretly. And the people broke you, they bust the door, they took the motor roller from you and brought you. What do I do? If we wanted to kill Fairplay, because we are blood tested, the day I saw him, that day he finished. But we saved the man 2 months after he was caught. So what can we do? A traitor.
We know that the reason why you set up the tribunal was to make sure that nobody is judged without due process. And having contact with enemy in military language is one thing, and the contents of the contact is another thing. Whether it was in good faith, like how a attempt was made to bring about peace between you and Doe, or whether it was to identify your weak point to Doe, can only be determined, or could have only be determined, if that fair trial was given. So my question is, was these people, as military personnel as they were given those due process under the military?
Your Honor, who determines fair trial?
The law.
We are the ones he betrayed. We are the ones who have instituted this tribunal to investigate him, to try him. So who determines who guilty or not guilty?
You asking me?
I have to.
Yeah, the law decides, because you are not.
Who instituted the laws? When Dr. Doe was here as President Commanding Chief, when he instituted tribunal and he tried Wesen who never made coup, Wesen who came from football field, was tried in a kangaroo court and condemned to death. Who determines who is right, who is wrong? When the government institutes an institution called tribunal, the government determines. Because at the end of the day, the man who the tribunal chairman will send a recommendation, get it, not get it, the final is the government. So we didn't have we were fighting nomadic guerrilla war. We didn't have a jailhouse to put people. We didn't have jailhouse. So we tried a criminal, the one who we thought was a friend, who betrayed us, and then we set up the tribunal to try him for being a traitor. That's what happened. So now when we set up the tribunal, who now determined what is what? The tribunal went through the investigation, and with the evident motor roller on hand, stay on the same channel. They only stopped talking when I interrupted the conversation. So now the tribunal now decided, by virtue of the trial and the accumulated evidence, he was guilty.
What can you say about the killing of Michael Doe?
Well, Michael Doe is very pathetic and very unfortunate. There was a coincidence. There was a big attack on our troops from Banjo Beach. That's why I forgot to touch, and thank you for the question. There was a big attack on us at Banjo Beach, where a few of my soldiers were caught in surprise fire by the Taylor group. They had crossed from one side and killed the Banjo Beach to take over our position. And there was a battle going on there. At that time, we did not know there was a tussle-over job by Michael Doe and Anna Bradley. Anna Bradley felt that the position she was holding, that God's left her in, it was the one that position was to leave her to take over Africa. But unfortunately, Michael Doe took over. So she kept complaining that, she said to us that, later on now, she said, they had a call among themselves, Hotel Africa. She said Michael Doe was not supposed to be the, I think, personnel manager or so. She was supposed to be. So that problem that was existing between them, and when the war that just was waged, the war that was waged by the MPF at Banjo Beach, she went to us and said, Michael Doe had brought to the people, knowing that God was also strong to the supporter. So she used that attack on our troops to mean that Michael Doe was the one who brought them. When we reached to the ground and saw dead bodies and wounded soldiers and civilians, we were confused. So Michael Doe was shot. We believe that he was involved. But later on, information also came that they were fighting over position. So when I went into the investigation, it was Anna Bradley who called us and said, "You'll kill her too." When we went to a place, she went to Dongayaru that took her to Liver Zanga to Nigeria. Michael Doe was not intentional.
So she was killed too?
No. When we sent for her to send her to where Michael Doe went, then she ran away. Because she lied on this man. You see, that's about war. You face a war, we don't have time to investigate, gun shooting everywhere, bazooka firing, and you say that this man brought them, this man. Not knowing that the man did not bring anybody, and it was because the position he got, you want the position. You think where you are is the one that's supposed to guarantee where you're supposed to be.
Do you know her whereabouts now?
She was in Nigeria, I don't know. She was taken to Nigeria by Liver Zanga and Dongayaru.
What is her full name?
Anna Bradley. She was a queen for Liberia years back.
Anna Bradley. Okay. What about Edwin V, who came from Freetown?
No, Edwin V?
Yeah.
With John Yomi?
Yeah.
No, Edwin V was killed alongside John Yomi by Benjamin Jiten on Taylor's order. I was not part of it. I come from Nigeria. No, I was still in Nigeria. Yeah, I was still in Nigeria.
I'm talking about the Edwin V was in Sierra Leone.
Edwin V was one of the groups, one of the person in the group that were trained in Libya by Burma Family. Burma Family trained these guys in Libya with the intent to invade Liberia, and they didn't have weapons. It was difficult to come because we were already here. So he sent 3 guys to Mambay from Sierra Leone who were trained in military tactics in Libya, and they came to Mambay to use subversive activity to take over. So they were arrested and tried. And we asked them that I was there myself. We asked them, you were trained in Liberia? Yes. Family telling you yes. Why you come here? The family sent me. He said you later. Don't you know that there's a leader here? Why family did not address a letter to me? You understand? Why family did not address a letter to me that he sent you? If I'm here, family from different camp. You got your own group trained in Libya. I got my own group. So for you to come, if you were transparent, you have written me a note and say, brother, we are one from the revolutionary camp. You went Monrovia, you are there, I'm on the other side, there is nowhere to come, but I'm sending you your brothers. That letter of introduction would have been better. He did not. Then I called Dr. Sarah, and I asked him if he knew about these people. He said he did not know. So I said, okay, you either leave from here now and go back to where you come from, or before 6 o'clock, when you are caught here, you'll be dealt with. So before 6 o'clock, nobody knew where they were. The men said they were still on the base. So what they were doing on the base? This is a military base. We are fighting war. You are trained in Libya, and guerrillas are trained to be sensitive. and you come to my base with all any paper from formula, and even if it was not from formula, I would be very skeptical, because the intent would be stay here and attack inside and invite me. So what I did, with all due respect to Amos Sawyer, I told him that there were people trained in Liberia and they come here to the base without document or anything. You know formula. Can you find out, do you know about this place? They don't know. So we dealt with them. The next day when they were still found there. I have nothing to hide. You are trained in guerrilla warfare. What are you doing on this? How you got there?
Okay. You said in your previous statement that when you got to Butu, it was during the early morning hour, and there was a Muslim who was going to the mosque, and you sent for him. He came to you.
He's one of the Sayin children. The old man in Butu, they call Sayin. Yeah. One of the children. I think they're still there. They're still there.
Sayin Flomo.
Yeah, they're still there.
But where is he now?
They're still there. You go to Butu, ask him. They're still there. Nobody did anything to him. He didn't trick us. He even made to get more arms. Here's now even at risk with the AFL, but we made sure that we got rid of them from the camp, from Butu.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me just conclude your question. I forgot. I want you to know that the Edwin Vale days, they were all militants. These were not civilians. They were all militants trained in military tactics to survive any government, to survive any institution, dismantle people, organization. So such dangerous character, if you stick on my bed, I don't know why you're there, I deal with you.
Mr. Witness, I want to say to you, thank you very much for coming to participate in this process. It's my conviction that certain individuals, organizations and groups are very important to this process which we are trying to put together as a result of the same group of people who met in Accra as a way forward. You said you came here in obedience to your conscience. And
by popular demand, and I come.
And because we demanded you to come, right?
The Liberian people want me to appear.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening to the call of your people. You also said that you did not know many years back that there would be a TRC. You came here not to condemn, but to make amendments. Do you confirm that?
I have made amendments already.
You've made amendments.
I made an amendment in the explanation, the narrative by that the formula, it did not say whether there was a coup d'etat in the coup they brought against Doe. I clarified that.
Yeah, so there was.
Okay. That's the amendment I want to make.
Okay.
And in Joe Waller's explanation, the amendment is that he didn't tell you he shot Joseph behind the back, but he did.
All right, okay. That's the amendment you were talking about, what the people left out.
Yeah.
I thought also that you would want to make amendment. For instance, you apologize to certain people for what you did to them. You said 1985 Prince Johnson was an unknown soldier. 2008, between 1985 to present, Prince Johnson had been many things, including an evangelist and so forth. You talk
about evangelist in Nigeria.
You were what?
After the crisis.
You were?
I became ordained in Nigeria after the crisis. After having gone through theological seminary.
Since you came to Liberia,
I was not an evangelist before the war.
Okay, all right.
After the war.
One thing you said, that the revolution began to eat its own babies. So those who came, and thank you for clarifying, because from what we see, that although you all came on this expedition with this hope, but it was just through the intervention of God and faith and chance, because you all didn't really have weapons, so to speak. So we got that fact known clear. You talk about Sawyer and the interim government, and many times you talk about it, so you can see that about the interim government being formed before Doe died. But we can see that you cannot divorce yourself from this interim government, because in a speech delivered on October 20, 1990 by Dr. Sawyer, and I will quote verbatim from the speech, he said, all the political parties of Liberia and others representing professional organizations, an array of Liberian interest groups and concerned citizens of Liberia from around the world, as well as an 8-man delegation consisting of senior representatives of the Independent National Patriotic Front of Mr. Prince Ward Johnson are present. Only Charles Taylor National Patriotic Front refused to attend this all-important meeting to decide the future of Liberia.
All Liberian Conference?
That was when he spoke October 20, 1990 in a speech.
Where would that speech deliver?
Deliver in Bonjour. Did you have an 8-man when you all went to that conference in Formine? Did you have an 8-man delegation there?
Yes, madam, I did.
Okay, so he even praised you. Went further to see there were a lot of manipulation too, maneuvering to even get him elected. And I think they also, at the same time, they constituted the government and gave Taylor seats which he didn't appear, and they gave you deputy speaker. So they also gave you vice chairman, vice president, but they gave you deputy speaker.
No, they gave me the speakership.
The speakership when
vice president.
Sawyer Taylor didn't appear, so they gave you speakership.
Yeah.
Who was the speaker? Who did?
Noah Butler.
Who?
Noah Butler. He's in the United States now.
Okay. So I want to say that maybe perhaps the interim government did not comply with what its intended objective was on that time, because there were 4 things they were supposed to do: bring about an end to the hostility and destruction of innocent lives and property, restore law and order and create conditions for the return to civil life, lay the foundation for a new political, social, and economic order in Liberia, and to conduct free and fair election under the international supervision within 12 months. Of course, they stayed 12. They stayed 4 years. Yes.
Did the interim government achieve its objective?
That's what I'm saying. That was the 4 things
They prolonged the war.
they gave to do within 1 year.
To remain in power.
But they stayed for 4 years and they made more money. This JJ, a new currency, and you spoke up on that. The only thing I want to ask you, you started naming names of people who people asked that were killed, that have been controversy, and also she just asked about Michael Doe, and you gave the explanation about how Michael Doe was killed. So I'm sure the family members and those.
The daughter came here from the U.S.
Yeah?
The daughter came here and met me with Dr. Salif. In fact, I was in town when Dr. Salif, may his soul rest in peace, he called me and said he wanted to see me. And I met this young girl from the U.S. and she began to cry and told me, I thought all alone I blame you, but it's not you. It's somebody who led my father into the trap. And that's a fact.
I just got a letter August 26 at 1:20 just now that you saw me opening. Dear Pearl, I asked you to please let me know when Prince Johnson will be appearing. I need to know if I can come and ask him just one question. Thanks, Clara Doe. Her last name M-U-D-G-O.
Concerning the same Doe?
Yes, but I'm sure before I could even ask you, when Chick asked, you clarify that. So I'm sure, thank you. How about, can you tell us about Tillman Gardner, the former police director? Tillman Gardner, the light-skinned fella.
Tillman Gardner was caught in the crossfire Dupero.
Okay, because that's where he
There was
lives.
a battle there.
Yes.
He was caught in the crossfire.
Okay. Thank you.
Nobody killed him. He was caught in a stray bullet.
Thank you very much. Also, did I understand you as serving as a member of Parliament of ECOWAS?
I am member of the Political Affairs, Peace and Security Committee and also chairman of the Universal Suffrage Direct Elections of ECOWAS Parliament. This committee is comprised of 14 persons, including Liberia 15, and we are responsible for direct elections into ECOWAS Parliament. So I'm the chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you,
The
Baba.
road to peace and democratic election in Liberia was significantly obstructed by factional disagreements, suspicions, and non-cooperative spirit. We can see that through your testimony that have been what you have been able to bring forth. But we thank God that Africa, we have the African Charter on Human Rights, Human and People Rights, which really is a new way, new medium through which different from our approach in this charter is different from international instruments, because they really talk about rights and inseparable with duties. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
I have no more questions to ask.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Order, please.
God, thank you. Thank you, Father. You speak to me. As I speak the utterances, I am blessed.
Can we have it a little bit quiet, please?
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson. Thank you very much for clarifying some of the issues as regard to our civil conflict. My question would be based on, because knowing that there are a lot of myth and misconception concerning some of the issues that actually went on during the course of our conflict, I will be asking you some questions so that you'll be able to clarify them for me. Initially, you talked about the 300 children that were dumped in the well. I guess that is something that happened during the Nima raid. Is that correct?
No, the Nima raid was in 1983.
Okay, so the 300 children happened
It happened before the invasion.
before the invasion.
Yeah.
Who are responsible for that?
The regime, those his people.
Okay. And do you know what happened to the mother? You only talk about the children.
These ruthless soldiers got into Nima County and just grabbed the children from their mother's bosom and packed them in the truck and brought them to Monrovia. Using military force, excessive force. What would the mother do? They were left there helpless and crying.
Thank you very much for that clarification.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea as to what really in the on the Nima raid, though you didn't testify on anything concerning the Nima raid? Can you?
Well, the Nima raid, when Kwankwa was asked to leave his commanding general position to that of Secretary General, if not, he would be fired. And he refused, because when the 17 men plotted to remove Tobo, Doe was the only highest ranking person, meaning he would be the leader of the head of state. But when they went to execute the plan, Doe went hiding himself in a flower bush. So if the coup had failed, Doe did not ever be part of the people. So before going to execute the plan, they choose what they wanted. They all agreed to make Doe the president, Kwangba will be the commanding general. So Doe had no, even though this is what they choose, so I see no reason why Doe had to remove him from your commander's position to that of secretary general. So Kwangba said, no, you didn't give me I made you president. When we're saying Harry Johnson, other people refused, and you should not be the head of state because you went hiding yourself in the bush, in the flower bush. If your affair will be executed, you will be free. Now you want to remove me from here, I will not take. If you prefer, dismiss me. So when he got dismissed, and he went to BDC, we were there that night. We gathered Kwangba throughout the night. And some other disgruntled soldiers felt that Kwangba was being too diplomatic and that the only time now is to move Doe. So Kwangba said no. So these guys now needed money. They wanted Kwangba support, cash and guns. He refused. So they went to Lamco to cut away the money to mobilize forces to do what they wanted to do. But my thinking is, if you want to overthrow the Monrovia as a seat of government, why go to Lamco? So I just assumed that they went to steal money. They were rogues. And the man on whose behalf you want to fight, I told you, no, don't do this. So I go contrary to what he have asked you. The few who launched the Limba raid were gotten rid of, but others who didn't know about Limba raid were killed in cold blood by Chajuru. You can't want to stage a coup by going to Nimba, your hometown. Why don't do it here? If you die, you die. If you succeed, you succeed. So that's it.
Thank you very much for that clarification.
Thank you.
And during that time, one General Robert Sedi, former superintendent of Nimba, and a close friend of Doe and Kwangba.
Your Honor, Madam, I would like to restrict myself to what I explained, so you ask questions irrespective of what I've said.
Thank you very much. Okay, now going back to your testimony, you talk about the truce that was signed, and then you said that Salif drafted it and you did some amendment. And in the truce, you agreed, or both of you agreed that ECOMOG should be, you should try to get rid of ECOMOG.
Yes.
That was a consensus.
Yes. It's evident by the fact that Doe also accused ECOMOG of being a CIA creation. It's on record for that.
But yet, after that, and we noticed that September 9, Doe drove to the port. And from information, when he entered the port, he never carried any arm. He was disarmed at the gate. And then on entering, later on you came. And that time, you were still under the truce. Did the truce say that Doe shouldn't visit your area?
No, you should visit, but with the acquiescence of the commander in the area. If I wanted to go to BDC, I should let him know. And if he wanted to come to me, I should be informed.
But other people also testified before this commission, telling us that at the diaspora hearing that there was an agreement between Taylor, IMPFL, and Doe to provide a corridor for Doe to depart, for Doe's departure. Can you comment on that?
I have no idea of a meeting where it was discussions took place about opening corridor. I only heard that rubbish from a Cohen. I was in the battlefront. I'm sorry to say rubbish because it's nonsense. He called me to the U.S. Embassy and told me, before you came here, we have agreed with Charles Taylor to open corridor for Doe to part with his family and his troops. Now you came and blocked the whole road. So we're asking you to please open. I asked him what happened to my fate. He said, when Taylor shall become president, we'll discuss your fate. That's why I left his presence. With anger, I left because there were gun firing, there were war going on at Clay area there. And my men were there. So I had to go to reinforce the strength. So then I told him, I said, you don't know what you call me for. I'm an open corridor. Let Doe go, then Taylor can take over. as president. Then you begin to compromise my future with Taylor. I got all the deadly machine guns. I can't use it. I'm going to dash it to you. Then you arrange my future. I can't do it. That's when I left. So the meeting took place in the United States. I was not part of it. But I was informed by Cohen and Peter DeVos. Only irrational men or incoherent men will agree to compromise a future. I was never incoherent. I was coherent. If I was incoherent as I was charged by Cohen, I will compromise my tomorrow. But I refuse. That means I get sense.
Now you talk about former President Doe, how he was captured and killed. But the people that accompanied him to the port, can you tell us what happened to them?
Pardon me?
People that accompanied Doe to the port.
Madam, I don't know where Thomas Kwankwa and the Sierra Leoneans and the Liberians that came in the fight, I don't know where they are. Those who went to the port and there was a state of combat. I cannot account. I cannot account for the other side in combat. In combat, when there is a combat, and after that, you account for your men, missing in action, dying in action, and wounded in action, and other capture or so. But I cannot be accounting for the rest of the soldiers that went. They were left there with the ECOMO soldiers. So when Veteran Malu comes here anytime, or when other people come here, ask them what happened to the soldiers that were there. I can account for them. I can only account for my men. There was a war. And some people say they disarmed Doe. I'm not aware of that. If they disarmed Doe, I don't know where the guns they had came from. If they disarmed Doe, maybe that's a true story. Because the truth say we should join to fight ECOMO. And when Doe entered with guns, he came to fight them. Maybe they disarmed them with the other heavy weapon and left the light weapons. If they left the light weapon with them, pistol, 45 caliber pistol, and other light weapons, then that's it. They have guns. And the ECOMO had all the military capacity to protect Doe and his men. If they didn't, whose question to answer? If they didn't, you are here as an honorable commissioner. You know very well that Dr. Sawyer here was president in Gambia, where the ECOWAS chairman was the one controlling ECOMO. Here. When fighting start, when they call the chairman of ECOWAS, that is the internal matter. Internal matter. You are moving here. Are you understanding? ECOMO was told by those who put up this government not to intervene. And let me tell you also, the President Momo of Sierra Leone, who became the host to ECOMO before coming here, they trained people in this country in ECOMO to go overthrow Momo. And when they were shooting at the State House, and Momo asked the ECOMO for help, ECOMO said, this is internal matter. We will not intervene. But what we can do for you is, here is a helicopter. Get inside. Momo said, so I hosted y'all, and I'm under attack by Valentine Stresser that my father pays it, they're going to shoot you, you better get in the helicopter quick. So they carry him in Guinea. They install Valentine Stresser. A stooge of the regime of Nigeria at that time. You understand? The government at that time favored his removal and said no intervention. You just sit down there, the internal crisis. Then, while they were there, there was a foreign conference, I think in Canada or somewhere. At that time too, sanction was against Nigeria under Abacha regime. And Valentine Stresser didn't play his game where he spoke in favor of sanction against his maker. So the kingmaker now got angry and told a deputy Alibio to make a palace coup. When they still a coup that day, when Valentine Stresser asked for help, they said that internal matter, yeah, the helicopter that carried Momo, you overthrow. You see? So the same helicopter that carry Momodo Sierra to Guinea, the same helicopter carry Strasser to Guinea. They did not intervene. When they had the capacity, they did not do so. It's the same thing referred to Liberia. So the question why they did not intervene in Liberia, I would say because they had signed off the book. They have signed off the book. Scratch his name off the mist. And the owner now were interested in Tata Sawyer and the new interim government. Okay?
Thank you for that information.
God bless you.
Okay, my next question will be based on how the civilians were treated in your control area.
Who?
The civilian, how they were treated in
Fantastic. There were lights, there were water. Newtown, West Point, Clarendon, Central Monrovia, everywhere. Finder campus were way down there. We carry food, we did everything for them. We provided trucks to bring them to Monrovia.
Okay, but I understand that one Paul K. Williams, former principal of Wellhaston High School, was on your base and he was shot.
By whom? Because they say, I do not know that one. All I know we saw Paul Williams. He was my friend. In fact, Paul Williams in 1969 came along with a group of white and black Americans on the team gave God a chance campaign. It was at that time our baptized in the pavilion here where they had a crusade. And we when they left to go to America, we opened a gas station on Center Street here. As I was told, that small upstairs house. Before we bought that Merton Street from the Tubbers. So he was my best friend, a good pastor. But he had his own fault with his own people. He was loving to those girls, they still were loving to. He had his own fault. There was another fellow they called Andrew Meyer who worked for Paul and didn't pay him. And there was a time when the guy went to Paul to talk about money, Paul dragged him with the Volkswagen he had. Paul had his own problem. And when I received Paul on the base and told him to leave Monrovia, he told me his problem that they were after him. To leave Monrovia to go to Hotel Africa and get him food and get him car. A lot of people were not happy with it. I told him to remain where he was. If he wanted to see me, I will go there. You should call me. He had escort. But I was told he came to the base to see me and they stopped him from seeing me. Probably those he offended felt I was giving him too much courtesy, too much honor. So in my absence, this Andrew Myers, he got no job. He wanted a job from the same church. He went there to make himself good. He told the people that Prince Johnny killed a man. But Paul Williams did not do anything to me. Paul Williams was not a soldier. Paul Williams never dragged me. We had no quarrel in my lifetime. Andrew Meyer was one of those that Paul Williams dragged. You understand me? And other students who joined us in the revolution, and their girlfriend was a girlfriend, using money from the church. Okay? So I don't know. I had to go to the church to explain. I had to call the elder to tell them, say, my hand not import blood. Because it's good to say the truth. The man was a pastor. Why would I kill a pastor?
Thank you for that clarification. During the course of the conflict, you will agree with me that Voodoos or the traditional leaders to try to prepare their children in terms of protecting them so that maybe they can withstand the bullets and other things. But there are information that the medicine men that work with NPFL was killed for protecting them. After you receive your protection, your medicine 9 times, you are protected 9 times, but the other people couldn't receive their last protection. Can you comment on that?
God is the best protection. I saw people with Ziggy dying by my side. I don't trust it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Just the next question.
Next question, Mr. Witness. Maybe this will be my last question.
Okay, madam.
In 1991, MPFL was removed from bomb mines. While IMPFL went to bomb mines, and a group of Nimba citizens went to appeal to the leader to reconnect himself with Charles Taylor so that they could fight the war. These Nimba citizens carried chicken as a sign of clear heart from Mr. Johnson. Johnson was the leader of IMPFL breakaway faction from Charles Taylor, got angry with these Nimba citizens who were requesting him to join Taylor to fight the war against former President Doe. As a result of his anger, Johnson collected all of his tribal men, lined them up and killed them, every one of them. Can you comment on that?
Madam, there were no such thing like Nimba people bringing in chicken. We were far away approaching, coming towards bomb mines. Bomb mine was fully operating. Honest Ismail was in bomb mines. Azem Musa was in bomb mines. Tom Owoyu there were all in bomb mines. There was a place of merriment. So we sent reconnaissance. They had set ambush all on the road, so that if we came in contact with any other men, they would be prepared in time to set up the heavy machine guns. So we sent reconnaissance with specific instruction to look for where the generator was, to look for where Azem Musa and his group was sleeping, and everything. Don't forget that these people were not in uniform like us. They were in civilian clothes with AK. They were not dressed as soldiers. Even some revolutionary groups, they are in uniforms. This Taylor group, they decided to put his men in plain clothes as civilians. So when government to remove Taylor people, they will begin to suspect citizens at the time and killing them for nothing. That was not in our case. So we came that night, we bypassed the checkpoint. The very checkpoint that was supposed to notice us to fire before they get ready in town. We bypassed them and came straight with the blueprint we had. We sent people to the house where Musa and his group was staying. We sent people to the generator, and we sent people to the outlet to, when you know, when bomb is a road, we closed that place. By the time they hit the light with the RPG, they hit Musa place. Fighting started. That whole night we fought, and there were girlfriends, plenty of girlfriends. And I was just flip the body when you were attacked surprisingly at night. They ran away, and by the time in the morning, we started picking AKs and the anti-aircraft weapon and thing. And the next thing I remember was going to the citizens of Burma. You go there, do an investigation. Call them or ask them. The citizens of Burma came out, and they were hungry, no food. Many of them had not gone to farm for weeks. So I told the manager, the white man, I said, you gave, because I was told that Honest Ismail went there for money and for supply, and they gave him to carry the trader in Banga. And so you must give the city, give me food now. The citizens are hungry. I want 500 bags of rice. And he gave me the bag of rice, and I stood in the middle of Burma, and they shared the food all over Burma. Immediately I left. And then heavy reinforcement came from Kakatown, where Batu Trader was stationed. Reinforcement came to recapture Burma. I didn't want to stay there much longer to waste my ammunition, because I knew the heavy battle from there to Monrovia, we had to fight. So I didn't waste my time. After I shared the food, everything, we passed another way and started moving. So where the massacre come from? Were there any massacre in Burma by me? I saw many Mandingo people houses. The Taylor boy wrote on the MPF that Mandingo people once lived here. We did not go on rampage killing people. The manager of Burma, though they go now, but the citizens of Burma lived there. It was the Taylor people who started fighting when the AFL left. They started identifying people who supported AFL. We didn't do that. So I'm very shocked when I hear people say, massacre in Burma. Massacre in Burma for what? The men with arms, we had dealt with them. And they were in jungle rain trousers with red t-shirts. Other people were in plain clothing, AK we had. So we did not massacre. There was no massacre anywhere whatsoever in God. Nobody must incriminate us and say we massacre. No massacre. If anybody join us and trick us and fool us and I order your execution, I will say, if I forget and you mention, I will say that true. That the Sheikh Afuma corner say, Vey. Yeah, I remember Vey. That one I remember very well because the tree in Libya, they are all militants. They're not civilians. There were no massacre in Burmans. No massacre. I don't think Taylor people massacred there. I'm not sure. This is a base they use for merriment. We went to the supermarket and used money to buy golden gin and buy things for our people. The men were surprised. Why would we have to buy to spend money? We're not saying we are clean. But we're not also saying that we just go on killing anybody because we blood testing. Then the people I would have wiped out would be those AFL who surrounded to me. Because they came to me with plain mind. I could have said, look, the people can attack us inside. They will let the people go to our building, will attack us inside. They will finish it. We didn't do that. Thousands of AFL came with guns on their head. And we removed the dilapidated guns and gave them new weapons. And we trusted them to go to war. Okay? And if I deal with you, I say I deal with you. Because one of the men that I forgot to mention, David Fireman, a Gil man, my own man. I received the man among the AFL who surrounded. I gave him place to stay. Everything was fine. He was going back and forth, AFL barrel, nobody knew what was going on. I was leaving to go to Negro Town one evening for inspection. He was coming from the opposite direction with 2 vehicles. He stopped me. I stopped. Get out for your car. I said, you don't know me, I'm your boss man. He said, who boss man? I said, get out for your car. I told him, okay, you get down to be identified. He refused. The money I get and I shot him. That was insubordination. If I wasted time, he would shoot me. I don't know his man. We're fighting war. If a surrender soldier that you get heavy to will tell the boss man, get down, you don't know my voice, you see me? That was tantamount to treason. When you tell your boss man, get down from the car, get down. The boss man say, yeah, me, I'm Prince Johnson. I said, get down. Who are you? Prince Johnson came. It's treasonous. So that's what happened.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Madam Commissioner.
Robert Johnson. But before I take my leave, you said you never believe in traditional medicine. As a believer,
It never work.
it never works.
You hang it on you, it don't solve your problem. God is a permanent solution to your problems. I saw people zage while they hang on you and they die. I saw it. Let me tell you, madam.
But why were you?
Let me tell you. In Tiaple, just before I came this side, there was a man who would cut the coffee tree and put it down and wrap it with it and put the black soil and take away and wrap it and put gambo. He was selling that for $15 and $11 per piece. And I warned him, we did not come here making money for the fiasco thing you are doing. We came here to revolutionize this country, to move the system and bring good system. I don't know whether the new government will bring a good system, but I don't want to be president, the head of state. But stop making medicine. Stop. Stop. And he kept making it. And I asked him to leave Tapley and go his way. But the next time they grab him and bring it to me, he would not leave. After 1 month, they brought him with 2 bags of medicine. The third bag was also money he had made for making the medicine. So I opened the bag, I hang about 50 a day, 50 so 100. I hang it on him. I find with AK for like that. So, medicine can help you.
But can you comment on the scorpion that is believed that you had, the living scorpion?
The scorpion is my emblem. Commando Special Forces Red Scorpion.
A living scorpion?
I can play with scorpion, it won't do harm me, it will not harm me. That's my insignia, it knows me better. Even up to today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen. Silence, please. We are waiting on you to be quiet, please.